Hey everyone, it's Sam here from sugarspunrun.com, and today I'm showing you how to make a coconut cream pie. Today I am excited to be sharing my recipe for coconut cream pie. This is a simple recipe and it's made completely from scratch, and I think you're going to love it. Now the first thing you're going to need to do is preheat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, you're going to need 1.5 cups of sweetened shredded coconut, and you'll want to evenly sprinkle this over a baking pan. Now our coconut is going to go into our 325 degree Fahrenheit oven, where it's going to need to bake for at least 10 minutes. Now you're going to use a spatula to turn the coconut every 5 minutes so that it's evenly distributed and evenly baked so none of it burns. Now that our coconut is toasted, we're going to set that aside, and we're actually going to increase our oven temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the temperature we need it to be on so we can bake our pie crust. So to make our pie crust, you are going to need 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs. Now I didn't want this to be just any regular old graham cracker crust, so we're going to bump up that tropical flavor just a little bit by adding in some macadamia nuts. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a food processor to break these up into small pieces. This is 1/3 cup of dry roasted macadamia nuts. These are looking pretty good, so I'm going to add them in with our graham cracker crumbs. Next, we'll add 2 tablespoons of tightly packed light brown sugar. We're just going to stir this together. Now we'll pour in 1/2 cup or 1 stick of salted butter, and as you can see, I've gone ahead and melted this. You'll want to stir everything together until all of the crumbs are coated with that butter. Now press your graham cracker mixture into the bottom, then up the sides of a 9.5-inch pie plate. I actually like to use the clean bottom of a measuring cup. It just makes tamping down the crust easier. Now we'll transfer this crust to our 350 degree Fahrenheit preheated oven, where it will need to bake for 10 to 15 minutes. Once your graham cracker crust is finished baking, you're just going to set that aside and let it cool, and meanwhile we're going to prepare our coconut cream pie filling. So let's head over to the stove top. You're going to need a medium-sized heavy-bottomed saucepan. To this saucepan we're going to add 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, 4 tablespoons of cornstarch, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Use a whisk to whisk these ingredients together until they're nicely combined. The next thing we're going to add is 5 large egg yolks. I really like to use coconut milk when I'm making coconut cream pie, so we're also going to add 1 cup of full-fat coconut milk. Make sure you shake that can really well before you pour your coconut milk. We'll also add 1 cup of heavy cream and 1 cup of whole milk. Now whisk everything together until it's well combined and turn your heat to medium. You're going to want to stir this mixture pretty frequently while it cooks. You really don't want to walk away from it. Now we're cooking our coconut cream mixture until it begins to thicken. Once that happens, it should start to bubble. Once it's bubbling, you're going to let it continue to bubble while whisking the whole time for 45 seconds and then remove it from heat. The next thing you need to add to this coconut cream filling is 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We're just going to add 1 tablespoon at a time, and you'll want to whisk well after each addition until the butter is completely melted and absorbed into that mixture. Now you're going to need to stir in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, or what I recommend is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/2 teaspoon of coconut extract. Give everything a good whisk, and now we'll stir in 1 cup of our toasted coconut. Now keep in mind, we're only stirring in 1 cup now. You're going to want to reserve that other 1/2 cup for the topping later on. Now we're going to pour this coconut cream mixture into that crust we prepared earlier. And you're going to want to cover the top with plastic wrap. Now make sure you press the plastic wrap gently into the surface of that cream. And the reason we're doing this is to prevent a skin from forming. We're going to let this pie sit at room temperature until it comes to room temperature itself, or almost there. This might take an hour or so, and then once it's cooled, we're going to transfer it to the fridge, where it will need to chill for at least another 6 hours. Once your coconut cream pie has chilled, we can see it set up nicely here. So what I've gone and done is I've made a batch of my easy homemade whipped cream, and I will leave the link for that in the description below so you can do the same if you'd like. I really recommend using homemade rather than store-bought. And I'm just going to pipe this all over the top of my coconut cream pie. Of course, you don't have to pipe the whipped cream on top of the pie. I just like to do that because it looks a little pretty. You can just slap it on there, that's fine too. And the last thing to do is to top off your pie with the remainder of your toasted coconut. And that is how you make homemade coconut cream pie. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe, and if you try this one out, I would love to know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey, if you guys enjoyed today's coconut cream pie video, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up and make sure to hit subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, if you enjoyed today's recipe, here are a few others you might like as well.